Hey, what's up? Sending you an internet hug. And now I'm going to talk about coronavirus and hypercapitalism. All of the repercussions of things that are happening on all sorts of levels because of this illness are shining a huge spotlight on structural issues of things that are not sustainable in a system of how we collectively organize humans. And I have three main talking points about this to share, and I would love to hear what you're reflecting on and your emotional coping and ways to help, ways to connect people with resources, and how do we use the internet as a tool to connect us, because we are learning that in new ways right now. Okay, so scientifically, spiritually, and all the perspectives from my one human perspective, everything is connected. We are all connected. So helping anyone ever is in everyone's best interest, because everybody needs help, because we're all here bumbling around being like, oh yeah, one day I'm gonna know how to be a human. And being like, oh, they know how to human, I don't. We're ridiculous. We're ridiculous. The other point to introduce here is that when help can be given easily and it's not, that's a form of withholding, and that's a form of manipulation. Neglect is still a power play. Okay. 3 main points. This is why I gave myself a structure. Point number 1 is that capitalism is a structure, treats humans as machines. And in ways that humans have not seen before, we are being blaringly reminded that we're humans. We're not machines. And we are also shown so dramatically that ways that we have tied healthcare to work, people getting insurance through work in the US specifically, all of the different ways that countries have organized their system of distribution of basic resources are coming up so in everyone's face right now to say, oh, these bodies are actually not machines, and they get sick sometimes, and they have basic needs, and they're the ones who make up the economy. Humans made up money. Capitalism is a wonderful tool and a terrible, destructive, divisive element between humans depending on where it's used. And again, from one human perspective, putting capitalism in healthcare, which is all basic resources, food is part of healthcare, the security of shelter is part of healthcare, putting capitalism in education and putting capitalism in rehabilitation. The fact for-profit prison is a disgusting term, that people are profiting off of these things that are inherent in our humanness of needs, and capitalism's like, no, you're machines. So that's fucked. And also with healthcare, how that has reframed the general perspective on caregiving, and how giving healthcare, giving care to people, taking care of people is looked at. Plenty of people have made all sorts of beautiful statistical charts about teacher pay and teacher pay rates changing, and who's touching more people than teachers, than healthcare workers, than the people who are on a day-to-day basis going in to provide for basic needs. And the ways that we are telling people to think and feel about those positions based on how we are compensating them with money, which we've made up. Health isn't a commodity. We're in bodies here. And then if we want to get into all of we're spiritual beings going through a human experience, and believe that or don't believe that, we are still all we're made of the same fucking tissues for the most part here. We are cellularly more similar than we are different. and we all, like the book Everybody Poops. Okay. I'm doing my best to keep it chill, because too much anger doesn't get the point across as well. Denying the anger, then I'm denying my humanness, because we all feel feelings. Hey, to whoever you are who's like, no, I don't feel feelings. Okay. Yeah. Sidetracked. Point number 2 about what is being shown, and a reflection on hypercapitalism and coronavirus of what is coming out now, is that before all of these structures started changing, businesses, people, mortgage payment, all of these things changing, and after, there are plenty of basic resources for all of the humans who exist in these human suits at this human time. We have enough food, we have enough water, we have enough places for people to sleep in a sheltered, comfortable, secured. People deserve comfy beds. There have always been enough basic resources for humans, and there still are. Making up money makes up systems that then can be used to withhold basic resources from people, or to tie them to specific jobs, or to tie people into marriages, or all sorts of things, because they're insecure about their basic resources being met. People who steal, people who do all sorts of things may not otherwise do those things if they had their basic resources met. And the general insecurity and instability you create in people when they don't know where their basic resources are coming from is fucking breeding grounds for manipulation of people, because they're unstable. Breathing. I have a lot of things I haven't shared on the internet yet. Okay. As a whole, capitalism thrives on insecurity, and media and people talking about the ways that body image, especially for men and for women, for ways that money and wealth are shown, and all of advertising is psychological manipulation to say, you'll be happy when X, and X is a thing. It's when you have a thing, when you have the appearance of the thing in your bodysuit, and then you'll be happy. And the more people are insecure, so the more people feel, oh no, I need to have my hair. Look, I did my hair too many times for this. The more we ingrain that in people, then the more easily they are to manipulate into things, again, that they may not otherwise do. And then to directly tie basic resources to capitalism, so again, tying healthcare, tying education, tying rehabilitation, tying basic rights to capitalism, is such a layer of fuckery that makes me so depressed about humanity, that we are having structures that ingrain such a root instability in people, that then to manipulate them based on body image or based on these more surface things is too easy. And we're just piling on bullcrap, and now people are starting to talk about it in ways that people haven't talked about ever before. So that's exciting. Body dysmorphia and diet culture and disordered eating is a great example of capitalism and insecurity, and the ways that people are targeted to buy certain things based on certain feelings that have been manufactured in them. And then again, going to a basic health need, we have an illness, it is taking it from these things that seem very gray area into black or white, into life or death, into it's not life or death until it is life or death. And we're commoditizing those things, so people are harming their health by stressing about how they're going to take care of their health. Why? If we have enough things for everyone to take care of their health, then the truth to swallow is that as a collective, humans are choosing not to prioritize the distribution of these things. And we're choosing to instead focus on marketing, and then the capitalism in places where we're putting energy away from the root of basic needs, the bottom of Maslow's pyramid. So it brings me to point number 3, a little chiller here. Again, from a spiritual and scientific perspective, prioritizing prevention, taking care of basic needs, is the least amount of energy, money, ATP, vibes, all of the things. If you first focus on people having their basic needs, that changes so many things that structure supports, because of all the implications that has on people's overall well-being and general security of knowing that they live in a world that cares about their humanity. They're allowed to express feelings, that they're allowed to be sick, that they are allowed to receive care. And again, this then goes back to how we view caretaking jobs and teaching and helping jobs, and how we've all framed the value of those jobs from giving them this monetary value. And again, money's made up, and we're all seeing that in way new ways of money magically appearing to cover. It's fake. It's fake news. It's a cool tool in ways. There are pros and cons of seemingly everything, and standardizing everything on the same dollar scale has done all sorts of structural things for humans that we probably wouldn't have done without that. So by no means am I fully in like, fuck all the systems, just like most of them. I'm all of the ones that involve capitalism in healthcare and in education and in rehabilitation, and in things that are withholding, giving things that could be readily given. That's neglect. And neglecting humanity is going to have consequences for humans. The planet's gonna be fine. The planet's gonna be fine. We are the ones who get to live here. We need the planet to exist for humans to exist. And capitalism and the economy need humans to exist for them to exist. Whew. Of other note is that art prices and everything about art as a whole, and again, from my human perspective, something I see as a human need to express in some capacity, and people doing art professionally, and then the prices and how that goes, is a really fun example of how money is fake news. It's made up. It is made up. And the other point to say here, and I'm looking at things I wanted to say, is that sex work is the oldest profession, and like caretaking and touch, there's cuddlers now, so people are being, oh wait, touch is a form of care. Looking at how sex work is looked at is another, in addition to all sorts of social things, a great example of how made up money is. A silver lining here that is, I'm reminding myself, is that people are talking about all of these things in new ways. I'm here talking about it in a video in a way that I wouldn't have done. So again, this one human, it's the only human I have control over, perspective, is talking about it more, and people are reflecting on basic needs and are reflecting on where capitalism has overstepped boundaries in basic needs in new ways, and are seeing money as a structure in new ways. And people are talking about it, and that is part of the process. So that's pretty exciting. Please, again, share your thoughts and feelings, and let's talk about it. And let's all keep remembering to breathe and to chill and massage ourselves and stretch and drink water, have tea, the things. My capitalist self-plug for the end of this is to please share this video if you enjoyed it, like it, subscribe to the channel, check out the podcast, and check out the blog. I have a Patreon and an Etsy. The Etsy is my most capitalist of the things here. And went through all sorts of reflecting on sourcing products and where, and learning for myself, where do I feel comfortable with capitalism and where do I not? And what are my boundaries? I'm going back into... Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for sticking around, for reflecting, for being a human. It is for all of the ridiculousness and wonderfulness and all the things. Moments of not knowing words for feelings. It is a fun feeling ride. So pretty cool that we have technology to connect with in these ways, and I look forward to seeing how humans use technology to connect humans to basic resources more and more and more and more, and how we all use technology to connect and talk with people. Talk with people! Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being you.